Hello, I just saw the Sonic movie. It wasn't very good. Unfortunately, and it is a shame to say because I was sort of hoping, I went into this movie with mediocre expectations. It's been getting fairly decent reviews and people are saying it's good for a kid's movie and it's a hard, okay. I like Sonic as much as the next guy. I was never a Sonic major superstar, super fan or nothing, but I like the character and I like the superpower of going really fast. I like Quicksilver. I like the Flash. I like scenes in movies where things seem to stand still in relation to the main character, like Hero when he gets his time powers in Heroes, etc. I like video games. I like Jim Carrey in the role of Ace Ventura. I like most children-oriented family-type movies. Toy Story 4 was amazing. The How to Train Your Dragon series trilogy is great. There's a lot of good child-oriented entertainment out there. This was not one of them. Okay, so I just want to do like a tiny review, I guess, of this movie because it is one of those movies that has been fairly tumultuous when it comes to the production. I'm sure you know all about the remodeling of the character, re-editing, recasting of a digital remake. They made the character again, and then the studio went bankrupt, or they closed down the studio. Yet another example of animators and visual effects artists getting screwed over, much like the studio that made the special effects on Life of Pi, who won an Oscar, and then they went out of business. Do I think that the remake of the character was worth it? From a movie viewer's standpoint, yes, I do not see how this movie could possibly work with the original character model. I think it would have been a complete disaster, as opposed to the mediocre, lukewarm meh that it is. Okay, so I have a couple of gripes with the movie, as you can probably assume. I won't get into too many spoilers yet, but there will be spoilers. I'll give you a heads up when there's spoilers. The problem, I think, is that Sonic as a character is not a leading character. At least I don't think so. He might be fun as a sort of comic relief type deal, and in a sense he is, but he's also the main character, and Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, is also the comic relief, but also the main antagonist. It feels like they're not from the same movie. I feel like Jim Carrey as a whole, his whole character and his whole way of acting in this movie, albeit endearing as Ace Ventura, doesn't fit. It just feels like his character is from another movie and just sort of stuck into this. He feels like Ace Ventura, but evil, which is fine as a character, and I think that kind of fits Robotnik. But the way they made this movie, and the way they play most things pretty seriously, it just doesn't really fit. Sonic as a character is a very stereotypical, hyperactive child. And most of the issues that they find themselves facing in the movie, most of the predicaments that they get into, are caused solely because Sonic just can't sit still and shut up. And it just made me annoyed with him more often than not throughout the movie. I get that this is a children's movie or a family movie, but I don't think that you have to make a children's oriented movie dumb. There are two instances in this movie where Sonic does the floss dance, and even the 90% kid audience in the theater that I was just at watching this movie groaned at those. So it is suffering from a little bit of hip with the kids syndrome.
What are those?
But anyway, so let's start at the start with the plot. I think the plot is my main issue with this movie. The characters, you could rework them and fit them in, but I think the plot just sort of bugged me the whole way through. And not to get into spoilers, but the plot of the movie is that Sonic is escaping from his home world where he is mothered by an owl. I don't know if this is Sonic canon, but seemingly Sonic is being chased by a bunch of Knuckles in ninja gear, which is super scary, and I started feeling like I wanted to pee my pants a little bit. But luckily he gets away and he ends up on Earth, and that's the premise for why he is on Earth. Luckily he ends up in Green Hills, Montana, wink wink, but he has to escape again, which is where our cop dude, our main lead human protagonist, Tom? What's his name, Tom? Tom, not Tim. His dentist calls him Tim, but his name is Tom. So Tom shoots him with a tranquilizer dart, which is the scene you've seen in all the trailers, where he's in the shed and he goes, ah, meow. And then they scream, and that's hilarious. And he gets shot in the leg with a tranquilizer dart, and that's why he can't run fast. So he needs to get to San Francisco, because that's where his bag of magic rings are that lets him teleport to a safe world. So he needs to get to San Francisco. That's the plot of the movie. Okay. How do we get to San Francisco? Well, you can't run, so we have to drive. We have to go on a road trip. Luckily, Tom is moving to San Francisco, so his girlfriend is there, so they can go there. So it's a road trip movie, which in and of itself is a little bit weird when you have a character that is based on running really fast. And this could work, this could be fine if they took away Sonic's ability to run fast, right? Which they did with the tranquilizer dart. Or did they? Because it just wears off. It just doesn't apply anymore. Because immediately, like 5 minutes into the road trip, the next clip from the trailer plays, and you'll see a pattern of most events that actually happen in the movie. Most of the jokes, if not all of the jokes and all of the action scenes, is basically the trailer, and the rest of the movie is filler to get to those moments. But anyway, so they get about 5 minutes into this road trip, and they see this, the advertisement for the biggest rubber band ball, and Sonic zips off to collect a bunch of souvenirs and zips back into the car. Oh, and even before that, when he tries to convince the cop guy to go on this road trip in the first place, he says that he needs to get to San Francisco, and the dude goes like, well, you get there on your own. And Sonic runs away and comes back, and he has been to the Pacific Ocean. This is from Montana somewhere. He ran to the Pacific Ocean and back in 3 seconds, claiming he couldn't find San Francisco, and that's why he needs help getting there. Now, if you can run so fast that bullets literally stand still in midair, I think you can just do a couple of laps along the coast and you'd probably end up in San Francisco in about 2 seconds easy. But I guess that's not, we need the movie. So, okay, we need a plot device, that's fine. They go on the road trip. The problem then becomes that this road trip would have gone smoothly, and it would probably have been over without any major issues if Sonic would just be able to sit still and shut up, which he can. And I don't know, I get that he's supposed to be some teenage kind of hyperactive ball of energy, which is fine, but he still just, he comes off as annoying, at least to me. And the whole thing about why he gets discovered in the first place is because he runs so fast that the power goes out for all of the coastline. Anyway, so they do some wacky antics. They go to the bar, which is the stuff you've seen in the trailer. Again, they throw the darts, and it's hilarious because he throws them really fast, and he is an alien hedgehog, and no one really cares because the police guy says that he has a skin disease, and everyone's just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I will say, in terms of the visuals of this movie, I like it. I like the way that Sonic looks. He looks fine. The only complaint I would have maybe about Sonic as a character, a CG character in this movie, would be that sometimes, because he's got like the thick quills, which is the thing that Robotnik gets, the thing that sparks and that he licks and goes, blah, blah, yeah. But then he also has like fur covering him, right? And sometimes, this is a very, 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 very nitpicky little 3D detail, but sometimes in the close-ups you can see that the fur doesn't collide with the quills. So when he's like moving or there's wind, you can see that the fur goes along its merry way and just sort of intersects the quills, which is fine. No one's gonna care about that. I just noticed it. But he looks fine. And the effects when he's running around, I think is cool looking. He has like this flash looking blue electricity around him, which is cool. He does the ball thing, which he doesn't know that he's capable of, so he discovers that. You get to see him do that, which is kind of cool, although it's in the trailer. Running around, explosions, bullets, that's in the trailer as well. And it's cool. It's cool to see a quick person do things while the rest of the world stands still. There is another moment of this, or rather there's more to the bar scene that is utilizing his speed for some cool and little fun moments. And I did like that part. That was a fun and well-made segment. It's fine. It was good. When it comes to the acting though, I do like Ben Schwartz as an actor. I loved him in Parks and Rec. I don't know if I've seen him much outside of that, but I do like him, and he seems like a nice guy. I saw some promotional material for the movie. He was talking about the game. He was watching a speedrunner play through the game, and he seems like a nice person. I don't know if he's the best voice actor though, because I do think maybe it's the direction, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it's not his fault by any means. However, I do personally think that the voice of Sonic was a little bit too monotone, if that makes sense. Now, what I mean by this is when he's saying sentences, it doesn't feel like he really means it and feels it. It feels like he says the words, and it's hard to explain, but, you know, imagine if I was like, if there was a situation and I'm confused, and I go, oh wow, that's a weird thing that happened over there, in that tone of voice, and then I'm scared because I'm about to die, and I go, oh wow, I'm really scared now, I better get out of here. You see? There's like no change in the voice. It's always that same like, hey, wow, guys, I'm Sonic and I can run really fast, y'all. And I love chili dogs, but I gotta get out of here because I'm about to die now and everyone I love is gonna blow up. I better run. There's no like sense of urgency. There's no emotion in his voice other than the same like, yeah, I'm Sonic, which works as a baseline, but you have to go somewhere with it. That's just a personal preference. Maybe that's just the way I read his voice because I was literally surrounded by the most annoying people in the world. The people to my left had a mom and a dad and a tiny baby child in the middle, and the baby child kept rolling around in their seat and shouting and kicking, and halfway through the movie, the dad fortunately left, but the mom kept using her phone, and I had to tell her to stop. And then the people on my right started using their phones, and it was a mom and two kids, and the mom and the kid were passing the phone back and forth to each other and laughing at things on the phone instead of watching the movie. Maybe that tainted my opinion a little bit. But anyway, that's my main gripe with the acting and the character of Sonic. Too annoying and not enough emotion in the voice. Robotnik feels out of place. Weird to see Jim Carrey like that when he's not Ace Ventura. I thought I'd like it. I don't know. I think I did. Okay, so I will get into spoilers for the ending of the movie here and one scene in the middle. So if you don't want any spoilers, I'll give a rating at the very end. I'll put a time code you can skip to if you want to see just like a rating. But for now, spoiler alert. Okay, so Sonic fake dies twice. And it's like the first time, it's a very obvious movie, which is another thing that I think people tend to forgive when they go, oh, it's a kid's movie. It has to be obvious for the kids to get what's going on. Yes, to a degree, but I still think there needs to be consequences for actions. And most of the problems are solved immediately with no consequences. For example, Sonic fake dies once, or he gets like knocked out. He puts a bomb behind him and then doesn't run away, even though he can run faster than bullets and explosions and everything. He just gets blasted with the explosion because he like puts it behind his back and goes, I got it! Boom! And then he's knocked out. He's brought over to the girlfriend's San Francisco house, and she's also, fortunately, she's a veterinarian, so she can just fix him up a little bit with smelling salts. Is that a thing that actually exists? Because I don't think I've ever seen any person in real life ever have smelling salts. But regardless, he wakes up and he's fine. And he gets new shoes by the kid. And there's a weird part of me that kind of wants to see Sonic naked. Now, let me explain what I mean about this, because it sounds weird out of context, but Sonic removes his shoes, right? And he has socks underneath, like white gym socks with holes in them because he runs so fast, and he has gloves. You'd think that he'd be able to remove his gloves if he can remove his shoes, unless he's fused to them somehow. And he gets a sticky bomb stuck to his glove, and it's a whole scene about trying to get it off, and that's why he blows up and knocks himself out. Wouldn't he just be able to take the glove off and throw the glove away, and then he'd be fine? But anyway, he dies and he wakes back up, and then that happens again at the end, where he's blued up and then knocked out, and you'd think he's dead, but then the Tom guy, the human dude, policeman, he says that Sonic is his friend, and that makes Sonic do the Thor thing, where he wakes back up and lightning hits him and he's got superpowers now. And the weird thing is that one of his superpowers is force lightning. So I guess he's a Palpatine too. So he shoots Robotnik with force lightning, right? Which explodes his or breaks his ship apart or does something. It turns off the superpower that Robotnik got from his quill that he put in his ship to make it go really fast. It's a little bit hard to know what Sonic can and can't do, because he can run fast, but he can't run to San Francisco. And he can outrun bullets and explosions, get knocked out, but he has to be brought back with smelling salt, but also knocked out and just be brought back by the power of proximity love. The movie ends with Robotnik being thrown into one of Sonic's dimensional rings, right? And he's stranded on a deserted planet, which is where Sonic was going to go to. Like, Sonic uses the rings to teleport, right? Which I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know Sonic lore enough, but whatever, that's fine. I'm not arguing that part. However, Sonic has this mushroom planet that he knows about. He has like a pamphlet with safe places, safe planets. There's a mushroom kingdom that he can go to, but he doesn't want to because he likes Earth. But then at the end, Tom throws the ring, and you have to think about the place you want to go to make the ring happen, or the teleportation happen. That's how the rings work. So you have to think about the place you go to and throw the ring. And Tom does this, and it goes to the exact same mushroom planet that Sonic was gonna go to with his ring. And I don't know, because the only thing Tom knows about this mushroom planet is that it is a mushroom planet. And somehow he gets the ring to go to the exact same place that Sonic intended. And that's where they send Robotnik. And you get like this sting after the movie where it's like Robotnik is on this planet and he's shaving his head in his reflection in a puddle, claiming he at least he hasn't lost his sanity, and his mustache has grown all bushy and he looks like he does in the video game. That's the only time he looks like he does in the video game, unfortunately, because I do love how Jim Carrey looks like that. Imagine the body language of Ace Ventura, but the mood and intentions of the Grinch. I like where that was going. I wanted to see more of that, but it is an origin story. Maybe there's going to be a sequel, I guess, because it's making a lot of money, more than Detective Pikachu. So who knows? Oh, I didn't even mention, there's a point where they need to go up high up on a building, right? Like they need to go up to the very top of a super skyscraper in San Francisco. I don't know the name of it. And they have to take the elevator, and they have to put Sonic in a duffel bag. I don't know why for this specific instance they have to do that, because Sonic has just been with them for the whole road trip from Montana to San Francisco and no one's been bothered by it. So I don't know why for the one elevator ride they have to put him in a duffel bag. But they do, and as they push the button, meaning he's probably been in this duffel bag for like a minute, tops. They push the button and wait for the elevator. 2 other people show up. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awkward. And Sonic immediately starts talking, and he's like, oh man, is anyone out there? Hello? I'm scared, it's dark in this bag. Are we there yet? It's like, dude, presumably you know the plan, and you know what's happening. And the guy, like the guy next to them asks, like, is there a child is your child in this bag? And Tom goes like, no, well, there's a child in the bag, but it's not my child. It's like, kidnapping, haha. And then nothing happens. No one interferes. They get in the elevator, go to the roof, and the plan works out perfectly. So it's like, what was the... There was no problem there. I get that it was the kidnapping joke, but there was... And that happens continuously through the movie. There's just setups for issues that just don't happen. All in all, I just wanna say that I think it's a movie that is, for a video game adaptation, not bad, considering how much it deviates from the video game stuff, but it's also not very good. I wouldn't say rush to the cinema to see this one. I wanted to like it more than I did, because I like video games, I like movies, I like wacky antics, and I like Jim Carrey, and I like things that move quickly. It was just a little weird. I think it was a little bit ruined as well by just having seen trailers, honestly. Because literally every joke but one was in the trailers. I think I've seen 2 trailers. So it's not like I've scoured the internet for every single piece of Sonic content. Unfortunately, it's an underwhelming movie that might work for kids. It wasn't a Pixar movie. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, it wasn't a horrible movie. It wasn't bad. It was short. It was a good length. I didn't feel like, come on, end already. So I guess that's a plus. If you like Sonic, catch it when it's streaming. Don't rush to this. If you have kids, don't go to the cinema at all ever. You're just gonna piss other people off. Maybe it's good for the kids. I don't know. I give it a rating of 5 out of 12. Bye.